What's going on, Sharks fans? My name is Martin. Today I'm going to be going through games 1 through 10 of the San Jose Sharks 2021-2022 season, so let's get right into it. Also, a quick note before I start, I just wanted to say that I am doing this game 1 through 10 recap. I'm going to be doing it every 10 games from the rest of the season, so it should be 8 to 9 videos. We're going to see how much that's going to change when we get to the end, if there's any players traded, if the Sharks make the playoffs. Throughout these recaps, I'm not going to be talking about each single game themselves. I'm going to be talking about the biggest storylines, headlines, and news. First to start off, William Eckland, 19 years old, San Jose Sharks 2021 first round draft pick, number 7 overall, has been sent back down to Sweden. He played 9 games this season, the max allowed up to, before the San Jose Sharks have to decide whether they want to keep him or not. They decided to send him back to Sweden just to get some more practice in, some more playing time to age up a little bit before the next season. He had 4 points in 9 games, that's 4 assists, he had 2 penalty minutes, and he was a -3 on the ice. 3 of those 4 points that William Eckland had were on the power play. As we can see through the 9 games that he did play, he had a lot of spark for the power play. He had a lot of chances. He also gave a lot of other chances to the other players on the power play, such as Couture, Dahlin, Bernsey. He helped out a lot. You can see how fast he is, how much skill he has. I think they sent him back down to Sweden, like I said, to just age up a bit, get a little bit bigger, get more playing time in, kind of get used to pro hockey as he was in Sweden before joining the NHL. So that's what the Sharks are planning to do. I hope, hopefully by next year, there's bigger and better players that he could play with. He looked really good with Couture and Dahlin. Also, another thing, the Sharks only had 9 games for him to play in the NHL with the Sharks before having to decide whether they want to send him back to Sweden or stay on the team. This is because after 9 games, if he ends up staying with the team, they have to burn 1 year of his entry-level contract, making it closer for him to become a restricted free agent, meaning the Sharks would have to pay him even more money when that does happen. Right now, because he was sent back, he still has 3 years on his entry-level contract. That means in 2024-2025, he is set to become a restricted free agent. That same year, Evander Kane's contract will be off the books, and it'll be, I believe, the last year before Burns as well. On Saturday, October 30th, 7 players and also head coach Bob Bootner were put into COVID protocol before the Jets game. Those 7 players included Erik Karlsson, Jake Middleton, Radim Simek, Matt Nieto, Andrew Cogliano, Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and Timo Meier. Before the Jets game, John McClain, assistant coach, was put as interim head coach for the time being until Coach Bob Bootner is back. And also on top of that, because a lot of these guys were on the main lineup, the main roster, a lot of Barracuda players had to be called up. Those players included John Leonard, Jacob Megna, Nicholas Milosh, Nick Merkley, and Ryan Merkley. On Monday, Cogliano and Couture both returned. Couture was not in COVID protocol, but he was feeling a bit sick. Since then, he has returned, and since those 10 games, he's already played 2. Afterwards, LeBanc also joined in COVID protocol. Since the Barracudas have been called up, both Merkleys have both scored their first goals for the Sharks. For Ryan Merkley, that was his first NHL goal against the Sabres. Ryan Merkley was our 2018 first round pick, number 21 overall. As we can see, a lot of these young guys, the rookies, have brought a lot more energy into the lineup. I mean, all those other guys that were put in the COVID protocol, yeah, I would love to have them, but since then, these guys have been able to keep up with the NHL. We've seen Ryan Merkley get his first NHL goal. We already see Dahlin, even though he was already in the lineup before the whole COVID protocol happened. Dahlin has been, I believe he's now tied for most rookie goals or most rookie points right now. I believe he has 5 goals as we speak right now before they play the Jets again on their away game. With that being said, I want to get to my next topic, lastly, which is going to be the goalies and the goalie situation. I know the big thing that's been going on right now in the first 10 games is the goalie situation. In the first 10 games, James Reimer was 5 games played, 1.54 goals against average, and 950 save percentage, which is now the top of the NHL currently as we speak, I believe. He also was a 3-1-0 record. Adin Hilda was a little bit into a rocky start. He did have 1 shutout against the Montreal Canadiens, which was a 5-0 win in Montreal. He had 6 games played, 3.15 goals against average, 0.886 save percentage, which isn't too good, but he has picked it up. As we've seen in the last game against Calgary, which is in part of the 10 games in Calgary, he did have almost a shutout. We beat the Calgary Flames 4-1. He was a 3-3-0 record with 1 shutout against Montreal, as I said before. Also, one thing to note with Adin Hill is that he did have a wrist injury during practices. I believe it was before the Montreal game, so that might be causing a little bit of trouble for him, giving him some pain. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, since then, he has a really great game against Calgary. Tonight we're going to see James Reimer against the Jets, so we'll see where that goes. Some negatives, obviously, with the whole COVID protocol thing, we don't have a lot of these guys left, so once they return on Friday, we need to see where they're at, how they're feeling, if they had any symptoms. They're going to be a little bit rusty the first few games, I feel like, so we'll see where that goes. In the first 10 games, they had a 6-4-0 record, which is decently better. It's a lot better than what a lot of us felt like where the Sharks were at. A lot of NHL people thought where the Sharks were going to be at. Obviously, there's a lot of good positives. A lot of rookies have gotten chances, especially Darlene, who's been looking really good. We'll see if he's going to be getting maybe the rookie trophy at the end of the year. We'll see where that goes. Ryan Merkley also looked really good. A little spotty on defense, but at the same time, his defensive game compared to years past has looked really good. Let's see who gets put back down to the Barracuda tomorrow when the NHL protocol players return. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. I'll see you guys after game 20 when I return for games 11 through 20 and then 21 through 30 and so on. Anyways, you have a good one, guys. Peace out.